Om Ghanatimirandasya Ghananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Shri Gauranitai ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Just a quick reminder to everyone about the upcoming festival season. This Thursday, Srimad Bhagavatam class will be given by His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. So that's day after tomorrow morning. Friday evening, there will be an initiation ceremony in the temple. Initiation given by His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj to few devotees in our congregation. Some are getting first initiated and some getting second initiated. And on Saturday, which is 14th of May, we are celebrating Adivas ceremony in the evening after Gaura Arati. Adivas ceremony marks the beginning of the anniversary celebrations, and the Adivas ceremony will be performed by His Grace Ghanashyam Govinda Prabhu, ISKCON Deity Worship Minister. And at 8:30 in the evening on the same day, we'll start the 24-hour Kirtan. So it will start that day and it will go all the way to 9:30 the following day, 9:30 p.m. So for full 25 hours, there will be non-stop Kirtan in the temple room. On 15th of May, which is Narsinga Chaturthasi, the morning Bhagavatam class will be given by His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. In the evening at 5:30, we have a beautiful drama that will be performed by our cultural team on the pastimes and the appearance of Lord Narasimhadev at 5:30 p.m. And at 6 p.m. we are going to celebrate the Narsinga Mahayagya, glorification of the Lord. So we are going to offer oblations for the pleasure of Lord Narasimhadev. That's also the occasion when their Lordships Shri Radha Gopinath, they arrived in Sydney on that occasion. They arrived in the same evening or same day as Narsinga Chaturthasi. So it's a very special day. Those of you who would like to sponsor for the Narsinga Yagya, you can do so visiting our website iskcon.com.au/donate. You can see more information in our social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, website. Did I miss anything? Newsletter. Information is everywhere. So you can participate in it. And on 16th of May, we are going to celebrate the anniversary of the Lordship Shri Radha Gopinath. Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki Jai. And on that day, we have the morning Bhagavatam class that will be given by His Grace Ghanashyam Govinda Prabhu. In the evening, we have the 6 p.m. festival class that will be given by His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. 7 o'clock we'll have Gaura Arati. 7:30 we'll have the Abhishek. And at 9:15 we'll have the special darshan accompanied by Kirtan and Maha Arati. So that's the plan for the weekend. So please come every day, on all the 4 days, starting from Friday evening. Every evening the feast will be served at 5:30 p.m. So we have a feast on Friday as well. Just got added yesterday for initiation ceremony as well. So please take advantage of this opportunity to come associate with the devotees and be spiritually recharged. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. Today we'll have a short class. I have to run for a meeting. I'll finish at 8:25 and I'll ask some questions if you have any. 8:30 I'll finish. Tomorrow I need to attend another program which I can't miss. So I requested Shamapriya Mataji to continue. So tomorrow's class will be given by Shamapriya Mataji. Okay, so we are in Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. Antya Leela. Do you remember till what verse we covered yesterday? Just a second. Yeah. So we covered till close to 70. I'll start from 67 onwards. So this is Antya Leela chapter 5. Ramananda Roy instructs Pradyumna Mishra. Just to give a background, Pradyumna Mishra approaches Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking him to narrate about the pastimes, qualities of Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, taking a very humble position, that I don't know anything. If you want to know about Krishna and Krishna's pastimes and qualities, you go and meet Ramananda Roy. Then he comes to meet Ramananda Roy, but meanwhile Ramananda Roy was busy decorating the bodies of young girls, Devadasis, who were going to perform dance dramatical for the pleasure of Jagannathji. So after waiting for some time, when Ramananda Roy finally is informed about the arrival of Pradyumna Mishra, Ramananda Roy rushes to meet him, and Pradyumna Mishra greets him, but then he excuses himself saying it's already late, and then he heads back. Next day he narrates to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about what he witnessed about Ramananda Roy associating with young girls. And in response to that, normally if you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very strict. Don't forget, just 2 chapters before we saw Chota Haridas, who was a sannyasi going and Hare Krishna. The curtain is closed, darshan and arati is at 9 p.m. So Gopinath is getting night rest. Now you are welcome to sit and attend the class. Otherwise you can come at 9 o'clock. You can take prasad as well in the restaurant just outside. Hare Krishna. So then he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we were saying just 2 chapters before, we saw how Chota Haridas, when he went begging for rice, and he just begged some rice from Madhavi, who is a very senior Vaishnavi, very elderly lady. Still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had banished him just for begging rice. But then here you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually glorifying Ramananda Roy, saying Ramananda Roy is in such an elevated position, I cannot be like that, but Ramananda Roy is so great. He glorifies him. So we have to understand from this description, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rates Ramananda Roy, we have to understand about his exalted standard. How much, on one hand, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it's not tolerable to see one devotee going and even begging, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu banishes, but on the other hand, here you see Ramananda Roy dealing with the young girls so closely. Still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies him. So then Pradyumna Mishra, second day again, taking advice from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he approaches Ramananda Roy again. So we saw in whole day Ramananda Roy was discussing Krishna Katha. So text 67, Ramananda Roy paid great respect to Pradyumna Mishra and bade him farewell. Pradyumna Mishra said, I have become very satisfied. He then began to dance. So this is the symptom of somebody who relishes hearing Bhagavatam class. So every day after Bhagavatam class, what do? You begin to dance. If you are satisfied with it. After returning home, Pradyumna Mishra bathed and ate his meal. In the evening, he came to see the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In great happiness, he worshipped the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord inquired, have you heard topics about Krishna? Pradyumna Mishra said, my dear Lord, you have made me extremely obliged to you because you have drowned me in a nectarian ocean of talks about Krishna. When we read Srila Prabhupada's books, we need to feel grateful for what Srila Prabhupada has actually given us. Prabhupada has brought love of Godhead from Goloka Vrindavan all the way to North Sydney. Prabhupada personally carried Shri Radha Gopinath ji to North Sydney to give us his mercy. And Prabhupada also offered very special prayers to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. I'm leaving you in the hands of Mlachas. That's all of us. You please, I can't take responsibility. You please give them intelligence. So this is the prayer Srila Prabhupada has actually offered to Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. So Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, they are very, very merciful because of this beautiful prayer of Prabhupada, who is a very confidential devotee of their lordships. So we can take mercy from Shri Shri Radha Gopinath on the strength of that beautiful prayer of Srila Prabhupada. So we also need to feel very grateful simply by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, simply by hearing about all these narrations which Srila Prabhupada has actually given in his beautiful books. After returning home, Pradyumna Mishra, we just read that, the Lord inquired, have you heard topics about Krishna? My dear Lord, you have made me extremely obliged to you because you have drowned me in a nectarian ocean of talks about Krishna. I cannot properly describe the discourses of Ramananda Roy, for he is not an ordinary human being. He is fully absorbed in the devotional service of the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada mentions something very, very interesting, important. One is forbidden to accept the Guru or spiritual master as an ordinary human being. Guru Shu Naramati. When Ramananda Roy spoke to Pradyumna Mishra could understand that Ramananda Roy was not an ordinary human being. A spiritual advanced person who is authorized to act as the spiritual master speaks as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, dictates from within. So, Supreme Lord, He is inside the heart of every living entity. And He is also manifest as Guru. But He is also giving mercy to the devotees as Chaitya Guru, as Paramatma, directing the wandering, fallen conditioned souls. So here, thus it is not that He is personally speaking. In other words, when a pure devotee or a spiritual master speaks, what he says should be accepted as being directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the Parampara system. So, a spiritual master is a message carrier from the Supreme Personality of Godhead to all the fallen conditioned souls. So even when we do preaching, our position is also same. We take the message from Srila Prabhupada and we are the agents of Srila Prabhupada's mercy to all the fallen conditioned souls in the term of book, in terms of prasadam, in terms of holy name. So that's what we do. There is one other thing Ramananda Roy said to me, do not consider me the speaker in these talks about Krishna. Now you understand why Pradyumna Mishra went to Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Caitanya Mahaprabhu sends him to Ramananda Roy. But Pradyumna Mishra, after hearing from Ramananda Roy, he comes to Caitanya Mahaprabhu and he says, my Lord, I am very obliged to you. Actually, he should be feeling very obliged to who? Ramananda Roy, because he heard it from him. But here he is saying something. There is one other thing Ramananda Roy said to me. Do not consider me the speaker in these talks about Krishna. Whatever I speak is personally spoken by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like a stringed instrument, I vibrate whatever He causes me to speak. In this way, the Lord speaks through my mouth to preach the cult of Krishna consciousness. Within the world, who will understand this pastime of the Lord's? What I have heard from Ramananda Roy is like a nectarian ocean of discourses about Krishna. Even the demigods, beginning with Lord Brahma, cannot understand all these topics. My dear Lord, you have made me drink this transcendental nectar of Krishna Katha. Therefore, I am sold to your lotus feet life after life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Ramananda Roy is a mine of great humility. Therefore, he has attributed his own words to another's intelligence. This is a natural characteristic of those who advanced in devotional service. They do not personally speak of their own good qualities. Prabhupada says, devotees, they never like to become the hero. Nayakanam Shiroratnam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. They want to always put Krishna as the hero. And they see themselves as very humble instruments of Krishna's mercy. As someone who don't deserve the mercy, but still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has actually given them the mercy. So Prabhupada is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, this is the natural characteristic of those advanced. I have described but a fraction of the transcendental attributes of Ramananda Roy. as revealed when he instructed Pradyumna Mishra. Although Ramananda Roy was a householder, he was not under the control of the 6 kinds of bodily changes. Although apparently a pounds and shillings man, he advised even persons in the renounced order. This is the position of Ramananda Roy. He was a grahastha. He was getting paid. He was formerly a governor. But he was not under the control of 6 kinds of bodily changes. Interesting. When we study Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada actually says in the purports, in the 2nd chapter, that the body undergoes 6 kinds of transformation. In fact, that's one of the most contrasting quality of a soul from the body. Body undergoes 6 kinds of transformations. Birth, growth, maintenance, reproduction, so on and so forth. Dwindle, decay. But soul is not subject to any of these 6 kinds of bodily transformations. But look at what Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying about Ramananda Roy. Although Ramananda Roy was a householder, he was not under the control of 6 kinds of bodily changes, which means his whole body is spiritual. Otherwise, it's not possible. So he is a spiritual personality. Like Krishna, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is a personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, although apparently a pounds and shillings man, he advised even persons in the renounced order. To demonstrate the transcendental attributes of Ramananda Roy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Pradyumna Mishra to hear discourses about Krishna from him. So this is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's way of glorifying his devotees. Either he can directly glorify or he can send someone else to directly experience and see for themselves about the glorious qualities of Ramananda Roy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did the latter here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knows very well how to demonstrate the qualities of his devotees. What it means is, one does not need to feel insecure about their contribution to Krishna, their contribution in devotional service. In fact, that's not the goal of devotees when they do devotional service. Radhanath Maharaj, he says in a class that sometimes, let's say we do some devotional service together as a team. There will be 1 or 2 devotees who would work very hard. They do 90% of the work. But then there may be 1 or 2 devotees who didn't do anything. But of all the members in the team, only those 2 devotees get singled out and they get glorified. And they won't decline. Yeah, it feels good. And then Maharaj says, now in some other occasion, these 2 devotees in question, for example, they would work hard. So hard. But then the credit that is actually due to them will go missing. And then Maharaj says, because you don't decline when the credit was not due to you, at that time you didn't decline, the credit that is actually due to you goes missing. Someone else will take the credit. But on a more serious note, purpose of doing any service is simply to please Sri Radha Gopinath. That's all. If that means some instances we may need to directly do, in some instances when we know some other devotee can do a much better service than us, we should feel satisfied playing second fiddle, just assisting the devotee. So the mode here is not about, let me prove how great I am. Then we miss the point. Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. Whole purpose of doing any devotional service is simply to please Sri Radha Gopinath. That's it, everything ends there. If that means sometimes I have to do the service myself directly, we have to. If that means that sometimes we have to play second fiddle, serving some other devotee in executing the service, so the outcome will be in a much better shape for the pleasure of Radha Gopinath, we should do it. That also means in some instance, when we know something we are very not so good at it at all, and there are so many other devotees who can do a much better job, we may also choose to take some other service, allowing the more qualified devotees to actually do. That's the proper mood. Now if we do that, why would, if you think about it, why would a devotee take up something which he or she knew very well, it's They are not so great at it, so good at it. Either to just prove a point that I too can do. That also stems from a certain insecure feeling that I better actually take up this, I better establish myself. But then here this verse is actually saying, to demonstrate the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows very well how to demonstrate the qualities of his devotees, which means if we keep our sole focus, pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Gopinath themselves will actually make arrangements for the glories of their devotees to be known. One doesn't need to make any endeavor to try to proclaim to the whole world, see how great a Kirtaniya I am, how great a book distributor I am, how great a cook I am, how great a cleaner I am. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. So, one doesn't have to try so hard to proclaim oneself the glories of one's own service. It's not needed. If we simply focus on it, what will happen is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, knows very well how to demonstrate the qualities of his devotees. Therefore, acting like an artistic painter, he does so in various ways and considers this his personal profit. So Krishna enjoys so much when he demonstrates the qualities of his exalted devotees, and Krishna feels so joyful. In fact, he feels that, yes, that's a great achievement. I did it like that. Whenever he manages to demonstrate the glorious qualities of his devotees. To vanquish the false pride of so-called renunciants and learned scholars, he spreads real religious principles, even through a Shudra, a low-born, fourth-class man. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached about devotional service, ecstatic love and the absolute truth by making Ramananda Roy, a Grahastha born in a low family, the speaker. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the exalted Brahmana Sannyasi, and Pradyumna Mishra, the purified Brahmana, both became the hearers of Ramananda Roy. Manyedana Bijana Rupa Tapashrita Ojas Teja Prabhava Bala Paurusha Buddhi Yoga Naradhanaya hi Bhavanti. So, this verse, Prahlad Maharaj, he actually lists 12 qualities actually. 12 qualities he says as not the qualification to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Manye Dhana, wealth, Abhijana, what family one is born in. Manye Dhana Abhijana, Rupa, how beautiful one person is. Tapa, what austerities they do. Shruta, what knowledge they have. Ojas, what's their sensory prowess. Manye Dhana Rupa Tapasrita Ojas. Teja, bodily effulgence. Prabhava, Bala, strength. Buddhi, intelligence. Yoga, mystic power. None of these are qualities for someone to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to elevate oneself. So one doesn't have to be a great speaker in order to glorify. Srimad Bhagavatam, Caitanya Caritamrta, Bhagavad Gita. None of that is a qualification. What's the proof? He says, Gaja Yutapaya. If all of this are qualification, why did Vishnu come all the way simply hearing some mumblings of an elephant by name Gajendra? So this is Prahlad Maharaj's point. Gajendra had only he remembered some prayers he memorized in the previous life. See, this is another inspiration to memorize verses. In next life, we don't know what will be born as. So we can. And there are so many lotuses everywhere. One lotus he picks up, and that too when his life is in extreme danger. So he picks up that lotus and he is offering to Supreme Lord. And Supreme Lord is coming all the way from Vaikuntha. Can you believe it? So Prahlad Maharaj actually says that this is the proof that none of these material qualities can actually bind Krishna to the worshipper. Only quality that Krishna is actually looking for is how much devotional service, with what sincerity a person is doing. That's all. What qualification how well they can actually speak, how educated they are, how beautiful looking they are, how intelligent they are, how effulgent they are. None of that. He lists all the 12 qualities and he says, none of this is of any use to anyone. Definitely not when it comes to pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many verses actually, even in Padyavali you will come across verses where it actually says, what is the hunter's piety, what is Ugrasena's chivalry. There is a verse that actually says that. We can discuss about that verse some other time. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached about devotional service, ecstatic love and absolute truth by making Ramananda Roy a grihastha born in a low family the speaker. Kiba Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, Shudra Kananoy, a Krishna Tattvaveta, Sai Guru Hoy. Kiba Vipra, it doesn't matter whether one is born as a Vipra, Kiba Nyasi, be a sannyasi, Shudra Kananoy, there can be a Shudra. A Krishna Tattvaveta, Sai Guru Hoy. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, the only qualification for somebody to become a guru is not that they have to be a sannyasi, they have to be a Shudra, or they have to be a Vipra. None of that is the qualification. A Krishna Tattvaveta Sai Guru Hoy. All the only and only qualification that's needed is if they know about the science of Krishna, they can become guru. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself saying. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited the glories of the holy name of the Lord through Haridas Thakur, who was born in a Muslim family. Again, another example. Similarly, he exhibited the essence of devotional service through Sanatana Goswami, who had almost converted into a Muslim. Also, the Lord fully exhibited the ecstatic love of transcendental pastimes of Vrindavana through Srila Rupa Goswami. Considering all this, who can understand the deep plans of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Listen to this carefully. He is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached. He is listing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached about a certain aspect of devotional service through different devotees. So first point he is saying is, preached about devotional service, ecstatic love and absolute truth through Ramananda Roy. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the exalted Brahmana Sannyasi, and Pradyumna Mishra, the purified Brahmana, both became the hearers of Ramananda Roy. So, to demonstrate about devotional service, ecstatic love, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged Ramananda Roy. Likewise, he exhibited the glories of holy name through who? Haridas Thakur. He exhibited the essence of devotional service through Sanatana Goswami. Likewise, he exhibited the ecstatic love and transcendental pastimes of Vrindavana through Rupa Goswami. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is engaging each one of those devotees for a very specific mission. The activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are just like an ocean of nectar. Even a drop of this ocean can inundate all the three worlds. O devotees, relish daily the nectar of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta and the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For by doing so, one can merge in transcendental bliss and attain full knowledge of devotional service. Thus, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by his associates, his pure devotees, enjoyed transcendental bliss in Jagannatha Puri, Neelachala, by preaching the bhakti cult in many ways. A Brahmana from Bengal, so this is the next pastime of this chapter. A Brahmana from Bengal wrote a drama about the characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and came with this manuscript to induce the Lord to hear it. The Brahmana was acquainted with Bhagavan Acharya, like Pradyumna Mishra. Pradyumna Mishra is considered Saktyavesh avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Likewise, Bhagavan Acharya is also considered Saktyavesh avatar of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One other personality who comes to mind is Shuklambar Brahmachari. Same, Saktyavesh avatar. They are all directly empowered by Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So, Bhagavan Acharya is also Saktyavesh avatar, one of the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, after meeting him at Jagannath Puri, the Brahmana made his residence at Bhagavan Acharya's home. So Bhagavan Acharya, he's one of the close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he gets acquainted with a Brahmana from Bengal who wrote a drama about Jagannath Puri and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorifying about that. So he comes and meets Bhagavan Acharya. Bhagavan Acharya brings this Brahmana along with this poetic work to Swarup Damodar. So normally, in those days, Swarup Damodar, he is the personal secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In order to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for anything, one has to go through Swarup Damodar. So, if somebody wants to even glorify Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because in those days, there was no mass distribution of books. books will be written, most of those books were written, kept in Vrindavan, then Brahmanas would actually scribe them, they will make copies of them, and they would then bring it, and they would want, if they want to offer it to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they will offer it. So once when a Brahmana who wrote a poem on his own about Lord Jagannath, Puri and about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he brings his work to Bhagavan Acharya, and Bhagavan Acharya is following the etiquette, taking it through Swarup Damodar. So what we are about to see is Swarup Damodar's response to that drama. First, the Brahmana induced Bhagavan Acharya to hear the drama, and then many other devotees joined Bhagavan Acharya in listening to it. All the Vaishnavas praised the drama, saying, very good, very good. They also desired that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hear the drama. Customarily, anyone who composed a song, a verse, literary composition or poem about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first had to bring it to Swarup Damodara Goswami to be heard. But there are exceptions to this. Like Rupa Goswami's Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself directly hears. In fact, he induces all other devotees to hear about Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. You will hear that. But generally, that's why it said customarily means this is the norm. Exceptions are there. If passed by Swarup Damodara, it could be presented for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to hear. There is a similar pastime that happened with Prabhupada. There is a poet who wrote a song about Krishna. Interestingly, there is an exact similar song made famous by Carnatic singers in South India also. I have heard that song, very similar. So the meaning of the song goes as if Mother Yashoda is actually singing it to Krishna. But in this case, the poet himself is actually singing, taking the position of somebody in Vatsalya Rasa. So it's not really Yashoda Maya singing, it's actually the poet who is singing. So he is singing to baby Krishna, who is just a toddler, who can barely walk. So the song went like, oh my dear beautiful eyed Lord, please come to me, taking your beautiful small steps towards me. And as you come, please sway your body so that my mind gets controlled. That's the crux of the poem. And the poet is coming in front of Prabhupada, presenting it. Swamiji, this is my work. Prabhupada looks at it and Prabhupada puts it, this is rubbish. He is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who are you to put comment to him? How you walk? You can't tell to Supreme Lord that way. You can beg for his mercy. Another instance also, there is an artwork where Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he is lying down, from his navel a lotus sprouts, and there is Brahma on the lotus. The artist drew that whole image from an aerial view. Have you seen that? Vishnu will be looking up, and then you will see Brahma, and the whole artwork will be from top down. It's like somebody hovered a drone to take a photo, or somebody climbing up and took a photo somehow. When that artwork came to Prabhupada rejected it, saying, what kind of artwork is this? Somebody is above the Vishnu and he is saying nobody is above Vishnu. This is Prabhupada's. Nobody can think like that. But Prabhupada rejected it. It's actually a beautiful artwork, but you understand the philosophical essence of that point which Prabhupada is making. So same way, when this poet actually gave it to Prabhupada is actually saying, who are you to command the Supreme Lord like that? He is Supreme Lord. He can be a baby. That doesn't mean he is subject to your order. Prabhupada rejected. This is not even rasabas. This is rubbish. Prabhupada puts it aside. So even glorifying Supreme Lord has to be in accordance with the Shastras. Understanding his position, understanding our position also. So it has to be done in that mood. So here, if passed by Swarup Damodar. So similarly here there is a Bengali poet who has written a poetic work about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Puri, Jagannath, and then he reads it out to others. Everyone says, wonderful. And then finally it comes to Swarup Damodar. Now 97 says, if there was a hint that transcendental mellows overlapped in a manner contrary. Transcendental mellows overlap means, I remember Once I took a plate of prasad and they were serving, there were like something like 15 items there. So there was not space, little they were able to serve in a plate. No matter how big the plate they gave, the plate was still getting full. So by the time I went to 11th item, 12th item, they started serving one on top of the other. There is no space. I said, like, all right. Finally I went, there was one beautiful looking cake with the cream in it. See? You go there and the devotee serves. Of all the places, there's like so much dry area. He dropped it right on a gravy, My heart went for that, Rasabas. If you want to know what Rasabas means, that's Rasabas. If there was a hint that transcendental mellows overlapped in a manner contrary. There are many examples Prabhupada gives in Nectar of Devotion. If you want to see examples of Rasabas, you can read. Contrary to the principles of Bhakti cult, I'll give you an example. In Mayapur, there was one of the mutt, they had Caitanya Mahaprabhu in sannyas vesh, fully shaven and dancing. And we were traveling with our Guru Maharaj, and as he was driving, looking at it's a beautiful deity of the Lord, they have just placed it outside. Outside means in open space, literally. And my Guru Maharaj looked at it and he said, in one sense, this is Rasabas, because Navadvip Damvasis, they don't like to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi. For them, he is just a Nimai Pandit. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that's why after taking sannyas, he came till Shantipur only. He never comes inside because they'll get heartbroken. Because their mood is simply, just like we see, Srimati Radharani, she doesn't like Dwaraka Krishna is okay, but for her, she wants Vrajendranandan Krishna. Yashoda Maya. Same for Nanda Baba. So when they say they love Krishna, Krishna's Hari Parshad or Vishnu Parshad, all the close associates of Krishna, and that too in a certain setting also. In that certain setting only, the devotees actually like to see Krishna that way. So we can also desire to worship Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Ji eternally, and they will make arrangements so that we can keep on serving. So as anniversary is coming, may that be our prayer, may that be our meditation. May we always take wherever their lordships are, may we always appear there together and serve their lordship that way. That's always a good meditation to have. I always believe that whoever we see in our yatra, we are all related and we always serve. So if you hold a grudge against a devotee, good luck with that. It's not going to go away. So you better patch up now itself. So here, so that's Rasabas. Because their mood is Nimai Pandit, with curly hair, that Grahastha, that Pandit who is an expert in Nyaya, who always walks around with the gait of a lion, flanked by his associates, students, and one who would actually go, as he goes to the marketplace, everyone would actually come out of their stalls and they would offer. So some would offer garland, some would offer chadar, some would give him sandalwood paste. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loves sandalwood pulp. Shastras itself actually say. Suvarna Varna Hemango Varangas Chandanangadi. Specifically it's saying Chandanangadi. Sanyasakrit Samachanta Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. This is in Vishnu Sahasranam, he will come across. Suvarna Varna Hemango. Suvarna, gold. Hemanga means molten gold. So that will be his complexion. Varangas Chandanangadi. He will have Ajana Lambita Bhuja. His arms would actually extend all the way to his knees. And his arms will also be decorated with Varangas Chandanangadi, with sandalwood pulp. So this is the Lord who is the cynosure of all the Navadvip Vasis eyes. This is how they like to see the Lord. Very, very specific. You see, Bhishmadev, Of all the forms, Bhishmadev wants to see that form who is actually roaring like a lion, twirling the wheel, ready to attack him. And as he is going, Bhishmadev specifically says, my lord, I noticed even the chadar, it actually fell off. You didn't even notice it. Like that he says. If you read Bhishmadev's prayers, that's a specific form only he wants. Dust raised by the hoofs of the horses, it's decorating. There was even perspiration on his face. And Krishna is whirling the chariot wheel, ready to attack him. He says, my lord, I want that particular form. May that be the object of my worship. May that be the object of my meditation. They are very, very specific. So, in Navadvip Dham, you worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a sannyasi. One sense, it's a rasabas. Okay, so that's transcendental overlapping of different rasas. The cheesecake getting mixed with wet gravy. If there a hint that transcendental mellows overlapped in a manner contrary to the principles of the Bhakti cult, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not tolerate it and would become very angry. So that's why they first have to take it to Swarup Damodar. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not hear anything before Swarup Damodar heard it first. The Lord made this etiquette a regulative principle. Bhagavan Acharya submitted to Swarup Damodara Goswami. A good Brahmana has prepared a drama about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that appears exceptionally well composed. To be continued tomorrow. So, this is text 99. You can start with text 100, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Hmm.
What I've heard from Ramananda Raya is like a nectarian portion of this course about Krishna. Even the demigods, beginning with Lord Brahma, cannot understand these topics. Now, similar statements we can come across in Bhagavatam as well. Brahma and Shiva as well. Is it really true, or is it just the speaker is trying to highlight the devotee?
What it means here is, even the demigods beginning with Lord Brahma cannot understand all these topics unless advised or unless instructed by an exalted devotee like Ramananda Roy, who is Lord Brahma's guru in our Sampradaya. Brahma's guru. Demigod's guru is Brahaspati. Devata's guru is Brahaspati. Who is the guru of Lord Brahma? Krishna. See there, Krishna is playing flute. Gayatri mantra comes from Krishna's Venu. So, for Brahma, what it means is, unless instructed by an exalted devotee or Krishna himself, Brahma, who is considered the most intelligent of all the human beings, of all the beings, even he can't understand. That's what it means. So, that is true. Even Brahmaji needs a guru.
Is it anything, or is it only about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
About anything. Here, specifically he is saying, because he has actually written a poetic work about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when it says he himself made a rule, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never liked to be glorified. Many instances we see, even Rupa Goswami, when he glorifies, he writes a song glorifying about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in one sense, without knowing who that song is about, he says to Rupa Goswami, you please sing. But Rupa Goswami is embarrassed because he knows if he recites a verse glorifying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will get upset. So he is in a bit of a predicament and he keeps quiet. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself encourages, no, Rupa, I know your work, you read. Then he feels very happy and then he sings the glorious qualities of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, same way, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never liked. But then when Rupa Goswami in an embarrassing position actually reads like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't dwell much on that. Next, he just moves it. Same, you will see even in Sanatana Goswami, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives instructions about Yuga Avatar, everything, he hears for 10 days fully. After hearing everything, my Lord, I have a question. Then he says, you said about Yuga Avatar, I understood everything. Can you please elaborate a bit more about Kali Yuga Avatar? Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts to elaborate. And then he says, my Lord, you said about some of these qualities. In my mind, there's only one personality who fits in all these descriptions. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sanatana, don't play tricks with me. Let's move on to the next topic. He just moves on to the next topic. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes this rule for glorification of Krishna. But in this particular instance, this poet especially, he wrote about Lord Jagannath, but in relation to, or not necessarily in relation, of course in relation, but it's about a pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jagannath, and Puri Damvasis. So that's the whole setting for which, or in which the poem is actually written. So it's all the more important that it goes through Swarup Damodar. That's the point he's actually driving home here. Okay, we'll stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai. Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Gauranitai ki jai. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai. ISKCON Sydney Yatra devotees ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath's devotees ki jai. Devotees in Mayapur TV, YouTube and Facebook ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vishnu Pada Krishna Basta Guru Jai Avtar Samadhanam Charapadani.